Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Happy Thursday to you and your family. Obviously looking at Bitcoin here, seeing what's going on. We're going to take a look at high block capital data, some liquidation, as well as open interest, and just generally kind of see what that looks like for us here today. And of course, very last thing too, just if you could help us out with our Twitter there. We're trying to grow our Twitter community. We are offering actually a nice little bonus here, 3 free memberships essentially. We'll call that out tomorrow, and that's based on likes, retweets, and of course, just go ahead and follow us there. So again, check that out. We got a lot of cool stuff there. That community is growing. Really awesome. Excited to be part of that. It's a lot of fun, in fact, the whole social media Twitter thing. It's kind of cool. So check that out. Of course, with Bitcoin, what we want to look at is a few things. First of all, we'll take a look at high block capital initially, kind of see what's going on. What this is basically this is extra data that you can't see on the charts, right? Because liquidations, you don't truly know what's going on the back end unless you are part of it. Unfortunately, some folks are, but we can see that the amount of liquidations are starting to taper off a little bit because the price is essentially range bound between 29,800 and 30,400, right in that range. We'll show that on the charts here soon, but we can see open interest is trying really hard to increase. And again, when open interest comes up, so does the price. That's a very, very positive sign. That's always a very bullish sign. Okay, so we want open interest to remain high. That being said, the fear and greed index is starting to taper off a little bit, and we can see a little less shorts than longs right now. Obviously, we can see a lot of shorts got liquidated here as well recently in the last 12 hours, so pretty much par for the course. And as far as liquidation levels, we can see right there at 30,000, about 600 was the highest point in which the price went. That's where the most amount of volume we're seeing right now for liquidation is occurring. Now again, these liquidation prices, these levels are not only places that things get liquidated, they're also open positions that close, or just say, limit orders, those things there that are effectively in place. So again, 27,500 to 30,600 is the range that we're in. It's a very strong likelihood we'll keep above 30,000. But there is an off chance it won't. Let me just go ahead and touch on that really quick so you can kind of see this, because I sent this out again to my Twitter community here earlier. If we take a look at this, and of course the MACD, we can see that there's a pretty stark reality of what happened last time the price increased like it did right now. Okay, so it's having difficulty getting through this little wall there, and essentially, what typically happens is when that MACD starts to diverge, we can start to see a disconnect. So if we start to diverge here on the MACD, I would say that it's a pretty strong indication we might actually reverse that level. But again, it's different for everything. That's not an exact science. That's not the reason why we take long or short trades, but that helps us understand the big picture, and that a retracement would make sense to the 25,000 range, or at the very least to 28,000 to fill that CME gap that I've highlighted before. Okay, so there's a CME gap there at that level. Let's see here, did I put it on here? Yeah, let's go ahead and take a quick look here while we're here. You can see a little easier, a pretty big gap there at 28,000. And of course, there's another gap way down at 20,000. I don't foresee that being filled, but we'll bridge that gap if we get there. Just something to note for big picture. All right, so now that we understand the general sense here of where things are at, we're still bullish and we're in good shape, but we have a bit of a shelf, right, that we could fall down. It's important to kind of note that. Let's go ahead and see if there's anything else here telling us what's going on. Now, we're at 70 on the RSI. We can see that we get rejected there a couple of times here so far. So we're really close to a potential breakthrough, which again, if the RSI can come up over 70, great things can happen. But we'll keep testing that resistance level. So the more likely you test, or more often you test level, the more likely it is to break. But again, going parabolic from here makes not a lot of sense, at least initially. We have to have somewhat of a pullback before we can leg up again, at least comfortably, or the leg up will be very brief, right? So we can see we're converging on the MACD, we're testing something in the RSI. That's a pretty standard procedure here for anything that's pretty bullish, okay? We can also see with Elliott Wave here, again, it just depends on when the top establishes itself, but with Elliott Wave, we can see that the price will pull back to one of these Fibonacci retracement levels if it were to, right? So we're looking at 0.382, 0.5, or 0.618 would be the most immediate Fibonacci retracement levels. Again, I sent this out on Twitter here recently, just regarding what that could be potential, but bottom line is 29,000 even is the next level that the price could pull back to if it were to. Okay, so I have some limit orders open at 29,000, like 29,050, to go ahead and get filled, hopefully, for my my DCA targets. But generally speaking, these are good targets to possibly shoot for if the price pulls back. I'm not saying it will, but I am telling you that if it does, it would make sense that it does. That's where we're going to go to if it were to. All right, so again, just some friendly advice there, kind of what that looks like. Now, when it comes to the 4 hour, we're going to just kind of quickly peek here. We're above 70 as well. Could get a bounce, but at this point, we've been above for a little while. It wouldn't make a ton of sense for the price to significantly jump up from here. We could converge on the MACD and the price could go up, but I think we're seeing a lot of resistance at this level. And with the volume essentially having increased here recently, getting rejected at that same price point, it does tell us there's some resistance. But again, this is an ascending trend no matter how you look at it, right? And those typically break to the upside. So there is technically slightly more bullish momentum here and bullish indications on both time frames that we want to acknowledge and hold true to, right? So the thing we really want to pay attention to, though, is Bitcoin dominance. This is something I think is important. We did break down below, finally, that resistance level or that previous support. So just something to note here, with Bitcoin dominance coming down, a lot of alts are going to surge. So we are going to start sending out some altcoin signals here very, very soon. In fact, we got day trades coming to the community within the next couple weeks, and we're going to focus solely on altcoins. But the bottom line here is that most alts are doing well, and it would make sense for Bitcoin to pull back and alts to surge because of the simple fact that dominance comes down. That's money coming away from Bitcoin. They're taking their profits from Bitcoin, and it's going into altcoins. Okay, so even though there's a lot of new money coming in the market, that's essentially what's happening on the back end there that a lot of times you cannot see. So that being said, let's go ahead and go to the 1 hour and call it a day here. See here. On the 1 hour, we're going to see on TD sequential, we're up to a 4. Not a lot of consistency there, but the thing that is consistent is higher lows. Okay, so it's a nice, healthy little pattern here, nice little channel, and a lot of times these do break to the upside. So I do like this little continuation here, but you got to recognize too, there is a potential, bear flag type of thing here happening where the price could come down. But once again, that usually starts from the top. So I don't think that's I think that's a bit of a stretch. Some folks were talking about that earlier, and I'm not entirely sold on that idea. What I am sold on here is that the Ichimoku cloud is giving us good consideration here for long positions. In other words, we've broken above the cloud, we've stayed above that for a while, so had you got in right here at this level, you could have taken some, be in the profits right now. There is, of course, the conversion lines above the baseline, we're above the cloud, lagging expense free and clear price action, so there's no reason not to keep your long position open. And if you're going to take a long position, just make sure you have it nice and tight, right? 30,000 stop loss or something along those lines, where you ensure that you secure your profits while you are profitable, right? Speaking of profits, let's go ahead and take a quick look at CC Gold, and we can see we're getting all sorts of good signs here. So just say hypothetically you take an entry here or here, you'd have some nice profit targets right there, and the same thing here as well. So this indicator is amazing at finding good conformational signs, and of course, subsequently, telling you when to get out before the price pulls back pretty hard. So a lot of my community members are seeking, finding great benefit from this, of course. This is available also on our homepage as well. CryptoCash.tech is a site. Link below if you want to consider becoming a community member. We've got a lot of new members coming over right now. And again, we have that community giveaway here too through Twitter, so make sure that you check that out. All you gotta do is like, retweet, and essentially follow, and you'll be eligible for being chosen tomorrow for a free month membership. Awesome stuff there. So be sure to check that out, and thanks again so much for all your help as a community to help grow and just become better. I really appreciate it and look forward to work with you if you're not currently a member. Thanks again to all my awesome, amazing community members right now. You have a great rest of the day. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.